Hey everyone, my name is Wedge, and we have a ton of Ixalan previews to talk about. I mean so many, a bunch of the set was confirmed today based on the leak sheets from a few months ago. Again, we have so many cards to talk about, there will be more than one video. Brace yourselves, friends. Let's jump right in, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button, it helps out a lot. Let's go! Ashes of the Abhorrent is 2 mana for an enchantment. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life. Well, what a way to start the graveyard hate train. This is clearly a response to Eternalize from Amonkhet as far as Standard is concerned, but you know there are plenty of Commander and Modern players who cringe at the sight of a card that blanket messes with graveyard abilities like this. This stops flashback of all kinds. It's a good thing this and the Stitchwing won't be in Standard at the same time, jeez. I mean, this is certainly not Rest in Peace, but for Standard purposes, and certainly anti-graveyard shenanigans in Commander, it'll do just fine. Think Grafdigger's Cage, but it also really likes being in decks like Soul Sisters, or any token variant at all. Pretty nice. Oh, also, this doesn't hit Dredge specifically because Dredge is a replacement effect. Doesn't touch it. Important you know that. Goring Ceratops is 5 of anything and 2 white for a 3/3 dinosaur with double strike. Whenever it attacks, other creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. Wowza, this thing is crazy! I was worried when I saw it was a 3/3 for 7 mana, but now I see why. Not only does it come with double strike itself, but on attack it grants it to your entire team. What a beating in Limited! I don't think it'll make waves in Standard simply because it's too expensive, but don't doubt the power of the trigger. Perfectly good in any Limited deck, and I can think of a few creature-based decks in Commander that might enjoy this. Can you imagine this in Kalia, or Gisela, or Darien? Hilarious. Also, look at that artwork. It's so pretty. It's so vibrant. I'm loving this plane already. Dinosaurs? Kinjali Sunwing is 3 mana for a 2/3 dinosaur with flying. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. This is like Thalia all over again. Definitely not as good, but a decent creature in decks where you could use the combat advantage for a turn. Maybe something aggressive that you don't want to board stall with. Forcing creatures to enter the battlefield tapped is like time-walking them if you have attackers. Strong ability, really the only reason the card is good. A flying 2/3 for 3 is alright, but without that sweet tap-down ability, nothing to write home about. This will probably be good in a Queen Marchesa type deck for Commander, or Sigarda or Saskia, something like that. It's really not bad though. Mavrin Famed Dusk Apostle is 3 mana for a 2/2 legendary creature vampire cleric. Whenever one or more non-token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 white vampire token with lifelink. Perfect time for this vampire cleric to come out right on the heels of Edgar Markov and Commander 2017. Almost like that was planned, how crazy would that be? Anyways, Mavrin is a great add to any vampire commander strategy, and the fact that his vampires come with lifelink, great with Lycia. Cool card. I wonder if there will be enough vampire support to see something like this work in Standard. We can dream, right? Here's hoping. Priest of the Awakening Sun is 1 white mana for a 1/1 human cleric. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal a dinosaur card from your hand. If you do, you gain 2 life. You can also pay 3 of anything and 2 white and sacrifice the priest to search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Priest of the Awakening Sun does a lot for a single white mana. Sure, it's just a 1/1, but you gain 2 life on each of your upkeeps if you have a dinosaur in hand. And worst case scenario, he can tutor for 1. Solid complement to the set that's clearly full of dinosaurs. Could be solid in Limited play, but for Standard, we need to see more of the set first. I love that trigger. Also, again, this artwork, I mean, this is gorgeous, right? I can't be the only one freaking out about this. It's beautiful. Sanguine Sacrament is X and double white for an instant. You gain twice X life, put the sacrament on the bottom of its owner's library. Well, okay then. That's awfully straightforward. It's interesting that you get the card back in your deck as soon as you use it. Being instant speed is certainly powerful, but pure life gain cards like this have a specific purpose in anything besides Limited. I think this type of card will fit much better in, you guessed it, Commander. Lycia already opened the door to white vampire life gain goodness, but not just her. Karlov is going to look hard at this, possibly Aloro or Tristani. I know we've been focusing a lot on Commander, but a decent amount of these cards are just good for that format. This one's no different, and you get it back after you cast it. It's hard to argue with that value. Settle the Wreckage is 2 of anything and 2 white for an instant. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search their library for that many basic land cards, put those cards onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle their library. Sure, Wizards, Settle the Wreckage is incredibly powerful and not just in Commander or Limited. Yes, you give your opponent a bunch of lands, but if you're playing a deck with, let's say, land tax in it or a Veteran Explorer strategy, you already have a plan for dealing with lands. And if you're in an older format like Legacy, the amount of basic lands in those decks is relatively low anyways. Against many different strategies, they could just blank when searching. Settle the Wreckage is potentially a super powerful removal spell, and I wouldn't count it out of Eternal formats. I'm not joking. This has Legacy sideboard written all over it, and it exiles everything. That's real brutal. Tocatli Honor Guard is 2 mana for a 1/3 human soldier. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger, torpor, orbit a human soldier. Another way to stop Phage from killing you. I know I keep mentioning it, but this is the kind of card that's going to live in Commander forever. I'm talking Zedru, Prison Strategies, that Grand Arbiter Augustin lead. You can even put this in Hikori and literally try to get everyone who likes you to leave you forever. What I find particularly devastating, this Honor Guard neuters energy decks. I mean, it just wrecks them. Take a look at these energy creatures. Want to know what they all have in common? They fuel your energy. Not with the Honor Guard. Energy players, you better hope your opponent isn't playing white and doesn't have a grudge against you because this little human soldier shuts off your entire deck. Truly savage. Arcane Adaptation is 3 mana for an enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. After Commander 2017, we have all this tribal goodness on the mind, you know? Arcane Adaptation does not help get that out of my head. This is a tribal card for all tribal decks in blue forever. It's so simple. 3 mana enchantment, you pick a creature type, then boom! Literally every creature you could possibly have is that creature type. It's so easy. It's like the easy button Staples uses. It's the literal easy button of tribal support in blue. Between this and Kindred Discovery, I think Wizards is trying to tell us something about blue tribal support. Anyways, popular tribes that include blue. You got Merfolk, Wizards, Fairies, Sphinx. You got choices. Enjoy more tribal hilarity. Daring Saboteur is 2 mana for a 2/1 human pirate. You can pay 3 mana and the Saboteur can't be blocked this turn. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. I'm not entirely sure why this is a rare, but I don't hate it. It is 2 mana, but it only comes with 1 toughness, and you have to spend the entire third turn making it unblockable just so you can loot. A lot of hoops to jump through. I don't think it's particularly amazing. I could be wrong, but the investment seems high to not commit more to the board and loot instead. Let me know what you think. Dreamcaller Siren is 2 of anything and 2 blue for a 3/3 Siren Pirate with flash and flying, and it can block only creatures with flying. When it enters the battlefield, if you control another pirate, tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. Now, this is my kind of blue card. First things first, Siren Pirate. Talk about your sweet creature types, I'm a fan. Second, both flash and flying. Good stuff, 3/3 good there. It can only block creatures with flying, but I honestly don't see that as a huge issue. You're probably going to have more fun attacking with your 3/3 flyer. And finally, in a synergistic situation, you get to tap down 2 dangerous threats, possibly time-walking your opponent who just spent a ton of mana developing their board. Dreamcaller Siren is the dream blue creature for me. It has basically everything I want, just get a cantrip trigger in there and we're good. Besides that, solid card, I am a big fan. Entrancing Melody is X and double blue for a sorcery. Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost X. Yes, thank you, Wizards. I love these cards. There are 2 reasons Entrancing Melody is super strong. First, it isn't an enchantment, so there's nothing your opponent can really do once you take control of their creature. Nothing to destroy, so they'll need something like Homeward Path. I'll take it. Second, the cost is flexible. Many creatures in Magic that are powerful have low mana costs. Entrancing Melody accounts for that and doesn't necessarily take up your entire turn. When you get the flexibility and cost, it becomes much more playable even at sorcery speed. Huge limited bomb, like gigantic, probably playable in Commander, as everything is if we're being honest, but you know what I mean. Control magic in a sorcery is good. As for standard, we'll have to see what the new meta is like, but if there are creatures that warrant this kind of attention, it'll be an interesting year. Herald of Secret Streams is 4 mana for a 2/3 Merfolk Warrior. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them can't be blocked. What? Okay, sure, why not? Why not print something that automatically goes into Atraxa, or Azuri, or Experiment Courage, or Animar? 4 mana for a 2/3 is a bit bleh, but I don't expect this to be insane in Standard. Also, and I feel like this is worth pointing out, this is a Merfolk. I wonder how much Merfolk support we're going to get. It's been a while since we've had those good old fishmen running around, #foreshadowing. Jace, Cunning, Castaway is one of anything and 2 blue for a 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker. Quote from Wizards. Starting with this set, all planeswalkers, past, present, and future, will have the super type legendary. They will also be subject to the legend rule. The planeswalker uniqueness rule is going away. What does this mean? In short, everything that's true about legendary creatures will now be true about legendary planeswalkers. This means that you can now have different planeswalker cards of the same planeswalker on the battlefield under your control. So basically a million Gideon or Jace or whatever. Yeah, that's a thing now. And they're all legendary, so Captain Sisay, I'm about to make a deck for you so hard. Anyway, back to Jace, 3 mana for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. You can +1, and whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card, then discard a card. You can -2 and create a 2/2 blue illusion creature token that you have to sacrifice when it's targeted by a spell, or you can -5 and create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace, Cunning, Castaway, except they're not legendary. Oh, okay, so Jace is creating illusions of himself to let you draw more cards, make more illusions, whatever the heck you want. In all honesty, I was pretty bored reading this card until I read that ultimate. It's easily attainable. Just 2 turns of +1 action, then you get 2 Jace, then if you do it again, you get more Jace, more and more Jace. I think this is hilarious if nothing else. A few notes? First, the illusion only gets sacrificed to spells, not spells and abilities like most illusions. That's important. Second, this goes infinite with doubling season. Jace comes in with double the loyalty counters, which means he can ultimate right there, then create infinite copies of himself. Holy butts. Okay, I'm not bored anymore. Jace, Cunning, Castaway might be the most interesting Jace we've seen in a while. I'm pretty giddy about it. He's hysterical. Kopala, Warden of Waves, is one of anything and 2 blue for a 2/2 legendary creature Merfolk Wizard. Spells your opponents cast that target a Merfolk you control cost 2 more to cast. Abilities your opponents activate that target a Merfolk you control cost 2 more to activate. We're back in the world of Merfolk, tribal boys and girls, solidly back. Kopala is a sweet control Merfolk legend helping to keep our fishmen safe. Maybe in Standard if we get more Merfolk support, definitely in Commander where Merfolk have needed more help for a long time, but possibly in Modern? Merfolk is a real deck there and it runs Kira already, possibly a sideboard add for decks with heavy single targeted removal. Kopala is only 3 mana, easy to cast in that deck, just saying, keep it in the back of your mind, and you know, that artwork, wow. I'm really loving this set. Merfolk, pirates, dinosaurs, it's crazy. River's Rebuke is 4 of anything and 2 blue for a sorcery. Return all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hand. Alright, this is the fat blue limited bomb. This is it right here. You get to just reset your opponent's board, but 6 mana? I know 6 mana is a lot, but when it legit removes everything they have going on, seems like a pretty fair cost to me. Now, I don't think this is particularly effective in Standard most of the time. It's a dead card in your hand for a while, but it is great in Draft, where cards like this usually shine. It's a beating. This is the first of many videos coming out about Ixalan. Let me know what you think with what we've seen here. Is Ixalan looking like a set you want to sink your teeth into? Which tribes are you most excited for? It's looking like we're getting a load of tribal support, even though Commander 2017 just came out. And I can't get enough tribal support. I just can't. I need more of it. So please let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. We gotta chat about it. And stay tuned to the channel for the latest and most reliable Ixalan spoiler information you could ever need. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Ixalan is attacking us straight to the face out of nowhere like a pirate ninja. Personally, the new legendary subtype in Planeswalkers might be the biggest news to come out of today, which means that you should get your Captain Sisay on right this second before she's sold out everywhere. You can get copies of her From the Vault card for $20 right now. They are running out real quick, so who knows if they will even be up by the time this video goes live. Good luck getting your copy if you can. You should do it. She's going to be real hard to find real soon.